podcast hosts Gabe and Leo discuss topics that directly and indirectly affect the LGBTQ plus community. Their generation gap has them seeing the world through very different points of view. They fight, they argue, they laugh, and they get off topic. But they make sense. Most of the time. Are you ready for this episode of Let's Talk Trans? Well, let's get started. Hey, alright, I gotta welcome you guys. It's the first time in a while, and I've had some changes. My voice has gotten a little weird. It's cracking a lot, and I know I've only been, kind of off air for a little over a week, but, it's noticeable. It's really, really bad. Bad. Bad in a good way, I guess? Okay, so... And Leo had 2 teeth pulled, so not only is Leo a little shy about talking, but he's in a bit of a discomfort, and so we're going to leave him alone. But, like I said, so I hope everybody had a fabulous Easter, for starters. Let me say that one, and I do apologize for not being with you on Easter. I spent time out in Central PA with my family, and while I had intended to get home in time to do a podcast, family had other plans, and we were just having way too much fun, and I lost track of time, so I apologize. But yeah, so if you listen to the last episode, we had our interview with Coach Ty, and we were talking about transgender fitness, and I told you guys that I wanted to talk about dead naming, and my first... And I shamefully admit, this is my first real, true, upsetting experience as far as being a transgender. And unfortunately, it involved people that I have known for, well, some I've known for 10 years, others I've known my entire life. Let's just leave it at that. But, yeah. And so... I'll explain what happened. I was at the firehouse, and because, you know, I'm a volunteer fireman, and going to the firehouse is what we do, and I'm a member of the board, and it was nonstop, almost from the moment I got there. It was Kim this, Kim that, Kim, and I didn't have time, and usually I'm pretty good about compartmentalizing. I'm passive aggressive when it comes to trying to correct people, because I'm not confrontational in a lot of ways, and unless a topic really, really rubs me, or I have to build up, because, well, I'm a teacher, so I have to let things roll off my back. But I had gotten to that point where I guess maybe I've gone to the point where too much runs off my back, or too much just kind of rolls off my back, and I don't know how to self-advocate, especially on this topic. So, like I said, people just kept dead naming me and misgendering me, and I kind of sat back and kept going, my name is Gabriel, through clenched teeth, but not loud enough to where people heard me. And the thing was, is these people have done... you know, have named me correctly or used the proper pronouns in private, but because one person did it, another person did it, and then another person after that, and I didn't have time to, like I said, I didn't have time to compartmentalize the emotions that were building up, and I couldn't process and calm down before, you know, basically, like, the next one hit, and it was detrimental. It actually got to the point where, like, I was ready to walk out of a meeting and resign right then and there. Because, to me, knowing and still not using the proper pronoun was a slap in the face. It really was. And again, I've been a part of this fire company for 11 years. These people, you know, and again, the excuse is, well, we've known you for this long under this name. This has only been 6 months. You can't just expect. Yeah, I can. If you got married and you'd be upset if I called you by your maiden name. If you changed your name and it wasn't gender related, or it was a marriage issue or a divorce issue, you'd be upset. But I'm not allowed to get upset. And when I say that I'm not, I mean I'm being told I'm not. And again, this just kind of boils down to my first real serious, and it wasn't anxiety. It wasn't like I got anxious or I got nervous or I was outright mad. I was livid. I was pissed off. And I was able to compartmentalize, but I had begun to shut down. And I focused on what I was doing because I was a secretary. And I focused on what I was doing. As soon as the meeting was done, I packed up my stuff and I started to leave. And my kid sister, must have seen this look on my face because she looked at me. She's like, "Dude, you all right?" My sister and I have called each other dude since we were little. Compliments of the Ninja Turtles. Dude has no gender as far as we're concerned. And I shook my head and said, "No, man, I got to go." And she comes outside and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I explained it. And there was that, well, we've been calling you this for so long. I get it. I do. I get it's hard. But in the same breath, not even trying or not correcting yourself. Do I have to wear, like, part of me wants to wear a name tag that says, "My name is Gabriel, and if you don't like it, kiss off." And I might just do that at the next fire meeting, passive-aggressive behavior. But, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it's like sooner or later, and I keep telling people this, sooner or later, the legal name is going to be Gabriel. Sooner or later, you're going to look silly calling a bearded man Kim. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. I don't know. Maybe they just keep thinking that this is, a phase, and I'm at 40-some-odd years old. I'm just going to go, oh, you know what? This was so stupid of me. Why did I even think about doing this? I changed my mind. I'm going to go back to being a girl, grow my hair long, and put in pigtails. No, that's not going to happen. I was never a long-haired pigtail person. All right, I was, but that was when I was little, itty-bitty, and my parents had a say in my hair. Okay. Sorry, it's just not. I mean, like, I don't want to be a jerk and go, dude, get over it. But in the same breath, you're not helping me. I don't want to go, you're not helping me grow. You're not helping me. But that seems like it's more about me. So in my psychological experience, it's one of those things I have to come to mutual terms. I have to come to mutual ground. And I'm afraid that eventually mutual ground is going to be not going to the firehouse, or not hanging out with family, or not hanging out with these people because we were friends when I was, again, dead name, female, cisgender, whatever. Now that I'm kind of rocking the boat, suddenly it's a softer firehouse, and this is not like the old times, and things would never be like this if so-and-so were around, and it's just, it's become a very different environment. And I don't know how, I don't understand. I guess maybe I don't understand, and maybe I don't understand because I'm open-minded. And I was open-minded before I became transgender. Don't think that just because, or I should say, I outed myself as transgender. I've always been, as long as the kids had 10 fingers and 10 toes, 5 fingers and 5 toes, 10 fingers and 10 toes, I didn't care. I don't. Their gender and their sexuality, that's part of who they are. That's what makes them up. And if I have a contribution in that, okay. And if I don't, if they don't feel comfortable enough to tell me that, then I'm doing something wrong. And, the thing of it is that, it took a whole lot of cojones to come out to people my age and older. And I tell this story often. I had talked about this with my sister and my mother many times before I had actually decided to do it, and just kind of the, hey, what ifs, and testing the water, and they always seemed so okay with it until they weren't. And then, like I said, and now it's just, the people that I would have hoped were my biggest advocates, next to myself and my kids, of course, aren't. And again, I get my mom's mentality, although I have to laugh because the other day she told me, I just don't like the name Gabriel. I would have picked any other name, but not Gabriel. I said, fine, pick a different name. I'll go by a different name. Pick something. No, I can't do that. It's like, do you want me to go by my father's name? You want me to go by my father's middle name? You want me to go by my stepdad's name? What? No. You just... yeah. And I realize I'm talking really fast with some of these, and that tends to lend itself to the conversation, because if when you hear a conversation and you don't want to be part of it, you tend to speed it up just to get it done and over with. And like I said, reliving this is just a little rough. I'm truly worried about the days when there are emergency calls, and somebody does call me by my dead name, and I've long since, I don't want to say forgotten that name, but I've started to phase it out, because I have started to phase it out. I don't listen for it quite so much anymore. What's going to happen on a call when somebody drops that name and it's not there, in my head? What happens then? And that kind of leads into another thing. I on Facebook, on one of my parenting groups, a parent had spoken about the fact that there was an emergency at home, and then their child had been dead named. And I think what had happened was there was a babysitter, or the babysitter was the older sibling, and accidentally the older sibling dead named them in the middle of this emergency. And it wasn't an astronomical emergency, but a 911 call needed to be placed. And the child was more upset, or so traumatized by the dead naming, that they couldn't get past it in order to make the 911 call. And I truly worry about that, more so on, I guess, like on a psychological level. Like I said, I'm older, so I'm able to compartmentalize most of the time. This, that Sunday being, it was not last Sunday, the Sunday before that, was the first time that it ever happened. This kid, who's much younger, and I apologize, I don't remember their age. I want to say they're kind of like that mid-kid range, somewhere between 9 and 13, I think. I call that the mid-kid range. They're not little kids, but they're not teens. They're a tween, technically, but that 9-year-old thing. Anyway. And, oh no, wait, they were 14. They were 14. And the reason why I say that, and because there were parents who were going, well, he's only 14, there's still a lot of hormones going on, this, that, and the other thing. You can't expect a 14-year-old, their brain doesn't work this way. And yet we allow 14-year-olds to be junior firefighters to help them develop beyond that. So is the mind different for some? Of course. Do some people develop faster than others mentally? Of course. Oh my God, absolutely. I have a 50-plus-year-old ex-husband who's still a toddler. I said that online? Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, sorta, kinda. Not every 52-year-old ex-spouse is a toddler. But anyway, and I shouldn't say that he's not a toddler. He is a grown man. He just has a lot of needs, and I just can't deal with it. But, you know what I mean? Like, so in that young man's particular case, the anxiety of being dead named couldn't be compartmentalized. It had to be the focus, which to me is kind of an alarm. I don't want to. This is kind of where it gets weird, and it's a very touchy subject. And let me start out this way. One, I'm going to piss some parents off, parents who listen, and I truly apologize. This is an opinion, okay? It's just an opinion. I was raised old school. I don't tend to, I understand the philosophy and the psychology behind safe rooms and safe spaces and needing those moments to breathe, but I also still believe that there's a time and place for them. And not every time is appropriate, okay? And that's, again, why I feel the need to compartmentalize a lot of time and have to push on. I didn't learn that